Hello everyone. So I've got a couple cards to share today using the supplies from the latest Your Creative Studio box from March. So we're starting with a white card base and a piece of black cardstock. And then I wanted to use this tissue paper that came in the box, but in order to make it a little easier to handle with the card making, I'm going to use a glue stick and adhere it to some just plain printer paper. This also will help the tissue paper to shine because on the black it would dull it down a bit. So here it is adhered to the printer paper, as you can see, and even just adhering it with the glue stick, it works really well, but it's delicate because it's tissue paper. So I think I tore it a little bit, but you can't even tell because, you know, with the glue stick you stick it down. And here's how it looks with just a little bit of a black edge with that cardstock behind. Then I've got another scrap of black cardstock in a small rectangle here. And we're going to pull out the papers from the ephemera paper pack. And using this one with the book text kind of look in the background, I trimmed off the bees because I don't need them for this. And so have a little rectangle of that, and I'm flipping it over here because I've already got it adhered to the black. You can see it nice and up close here. And then I'm going to take a scrap piece of white cardstock as well. So I'm making a little banner here in the upper right hand portion of the card. And I still want that text paper to show through. I love that, but I need something to showcase the sticker that I'm going to put on, and so the white will really help it to show through. So we're going to place that down with a little bit of tape adhesive here, and you'll see these stickers I have out. These are the stickers that came in the box. Be happy. Wanted to find a way to use that and kind of highlight it, and it is pretty small. It's like the perfect size to seal an envelope. In fact, I just thought of that. If I gave this card with an envelope, that'd be a great place to put another one, is on the envelope where you seal it. But it's a little accent here on this banner that I'm going to place up in the right hand corner, and I'm putting that all the way up to the edge of the card there. Takes me a bit to fiddle with it. I'm trying to get it nice and straight, and I'm lining up with the right hand edge of my card. And that's how it looks so far. And then we're going to take one of the stamps that came in the box, and this is the large floral with the bee. And my bee is going to be part of it, and it wasn't quite adhering. Sometimes I have this problem with the cling stamps to my acrylic block, so I just dabbed a little bit of the glue stick on. That's easy to wash off later, but this was a super quick and easy, fast way to get it to stay put on my block because the tissue paper is rather slick. And so considering the ink I'm going to use is important as well, I went with some archival ink. I'm not sure what the base is of this. It's a waterproof ink, but you know, you could use StazOn also, but I wanted something that would not slip around too much on the slick surface, would adhere, and would be permanent. And it turns out really well with the archival ink. And mine, you want to make sure it's juicy enough. I have a re-inker for that one because I use it a lot, and so I have re-inked it recently, not right before this, but here you can see how that's stamped. And I have a little scrap of paper that I had on the left because I wasn't sure how far the leaf would extend, and I didn't want to get any on the back. And I also I cut out the part where I practice stamped it to make sure I had enough ink and stuff. And so this is how it looks, and I think it turned out great. You never know. You only get one shot with the videos, so it turned out pretty well. And so then moving on here, I'm bringing in a little supply from a Spellbinders card kit. I'll list that in the description of the video specifically, but it is marked on there. I'm just using the word smile, the die, and you know, you could use any sentiment here on this card, but I have this lovely word die, and so I've cut it out of the black cardstock and using my tweezers to place it down there in the bottom right hand portion of the card. So this is a great all occasion card. You could just leave it without that little sentiment and it'd be just fine too. Maybe even just stick another little bee in that corner. Lots of different ideas, but I really like the sentiment smile because, I mean, that is one of the big reasons that I would give a card, is I want to put a smile on someone's face. I want them to enjoy it. And this is how the first card turns out, using the supplies mostly from the box. Here's card number 2, and I'm again using the white card base, and I have from the paper pad this kind of background floral type paper, and I've put it on with a tiny white border. Then again, I'm going to use this same piece of paper with the book text without the bees, and I am using some tape runner, and I have a larger piece than I need, but I am going to trim off the excess. Here I am just trying to be very careful to line it up further to the left of the card. It's not even, but I'm going to be doing a lot of blocking in of little rectangles with this card, and so it balances out in the end. But yeah, I wanted it straight. I was working hard on getting it straight, and with a lot of lines, sometimes it's tricky to get it straight. But then trim off the excess here. And if I left it like this, it would feel unbalanced. But because I'm not leaving it like this, it's not going to feel unbalanced. Here is a piece of that polka dot, but this is from the sticker paper. So you can see here I didn't need to add adhesive, although Butterfingers, I'm dropping it all over the place. And again, I'm going to have to take some time. Most of this footage is real time, though I've cut out some of the other stuff, but it's not sped up. So it took some time to line it up and get it where I wanted it. And so this adds to the balance of the card because this one's further to the right. And I can see now that my gaps on the right and left aren't exactly the same, but it works out all right. Now this is that paper pad of those tiny, beautiful images that I love so much, and I was able to use 3 of them on this card. So I had a whole pile of them. Mainly I was looking for kind of this soft, warm, golden yellow, beige color scheme, and I was pulling out a bunch of them that would work with that color scheme. And I picked this sunflower one to start out with, and it's almost the center of the card, but not quite. Again, focusing on keeping my lines even and straight. Then I wanted to add some more white because I have the white card base, and I have that showing through a little. So that is why I chose this lovely yellow flower. And I'm placing that just a little bit to the left here, making sure my edges are straight. And finally, I found this butterfly one, which has kind of the browns, the vintage sort of background look. Not too much black in this card. And I am just going to tape like the top 2/3 of it and have it overhang a little bit, because the Parisian, I love Parisian ephemera stuff, but it didn't quite work with this card, and so that's okay that I'm trimming that off. I wanted the yellows, the orange golden colors of that butterfly. Now, to finish this card off, we're going to use some things that weren't in this month's box, but they were in Your Creative Studio box. So we've got a lot of these postage stamp stickers. I will make a note in the description of which box I'm pretty sure this comes from, because I was looking at the edges and my reference, and I will pop that into the description. But I don't have it on hand here, but I have just this sticker here that I'm going to add to the, well, sort of the right hand. But if you're wondering why I'm putting it here, it's because I'm going to put this stamp in the middle. So that's going to fill out the balance there. So I'm kind of figuring it out. It doesn't look great right here, but it's not done. So this stamp was also in Your Creative Studio box, which I will note in the description which one it was in for you. But I'm getting my little scrap paper here because I don't want to use the whole stamp. I just kind of want some of the postage like a mark. And here I've tried it out on vellum, so I could see, without committing to the placement, and then I'm going to practice again. And here, this first stamp, I had too much of that black, I don't know, mark, and so I had to wipe that off and make sure I know exactly how much pressure to use. It's kind of unpredictable, yes, but it works out really well, and I'm happily pleased that way, because some of these things, like, I think there might only be one of some of those, images, the rectangle images. This is how it turns out. Perfectly imperfect, and I love it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you again for watching. I'm going to pop a couple still photos here on the end. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my content. And as always, have a wonderful and creative day. Bye!